Good afternoon. It's Thursday. What is it? About 4:30 in Eastern. We're here in snowy upstate New York. It's called Central New York if you live here. If you don't live here, it's probably called upstate, though. Got a few new tunes to play. And we're going to start with a slower number. This is a tune that a lot of people think Ray Charles wrote this, but he didn't. It was Hoagy Carmichael. I'm going to make sure. I just want to look it up. Make sure I haven't led you down the wrong path. It's called Georgia on My Mind. Yeah, Hoagy Carmichael, 1960. That was actually originally written in 1930. The Ray Charles recording was 1960. And our version is going to be from 2016. This is Georgia on My Mind. That was Hoagie Carmichael's Georgia on My Mind. I'm going to point this out to you. If there's anything that you like that you've heard today, there's more available here. Information, music, whatnot. Let's see if there are any questions out there. Today is a taper day. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. That's why there won't be a whole lot of music today. Oh, Soren Kjær Larsens congratulate us on sounding great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, tapering is something from sports, and when an athlete is training throughout the week and they've got game day or race day, say on Friday, you're going to be spending a certain amount of time building your strength up. If you keep increasing the practice, increasing the load that you're putting on your muscles, then by the time you get to game day, you'll be tired. So you don't want to be tired for your performance, you know, for your game, for your race, whatever it is that you're focusing on. So as a musician, a brass player especially, you want to be as fresh as possible on gig day. So the day before, which for me is normally Thursday, I have my big gig of the week on Friday. So the day before, I'll tend to practice, but I won't do a whole lot. If I start getting that fatigue feeling, I know that I've pushed it a little bit too hard. And if I get this just right, I'll come in tomorrow with really good chops. And there's really not anything to it. It's not rocket science. You just sort of gradually build up, and then the day before the concert, you practice a little, just enough to keep things smooth and flowing. You get a good warm-up, and then just stop. Just enjoy the rest of your day, and then be fresh for the gig. So our next tune is going to be Night and Day. I'm using a bunch of new material here that I'm not completely familiar with yet, so just bear with me while I get the levels right here. It was a little hot. Okay, so this is Cole Porter's Night and Day. And I'd love to do it with Joe Henderson changes. But I think in order for that to happen, I'm going to have to start making some of these background things myself. There's a program out there. There are several programs where you can create these background things. And they're getting so sophisticated that it actually sounds like real music. Joe Henderson's changes are my favorite on this tune, but we're going to settle for what we've got, which I think is closer to what you would have heard from Frank Sinatra. So here's Cole Porter's Night and Day. that had a few surprises. Night and Day, organ sound. So I love the organ. Let's stick with that. Well, I got a few here. Organ blues. Here's one. This is a tune by Benny Golson, which he wrote for the Jazz Tet.
1, 2, 1.
It's called Killer Joe. Benny Golson, this is a tune that's about a fancy man about town with his fancy clothes and his fancy women and his fancy cars, if you know what I mean. Killer Joe.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
think we're going to slow things down. This is a song by Thelonious Monk. It's entitled Ask Me Now. I think he did it with Sonny Rollins. Maybe with Coltrane too. And definitely by himself. It's also one that Joe Henderson played. It's beautiful. Ask Me Now. By Thelonious Monk. Tim S. has asked, are we playing via Music Minus One or something like that? The answer is yes. I've got a whole bunch of these backing tracks. I search for them all over. There are so many available now that you don't have to make them yourself. And yes, so that's what we're doing. We're playing along with sort of digital Music Minus One. See if there are any questions out in the rest of the blogosphere, social media. I'm going to do one more tune. We're going to do Rhythm Changes, Olio. Um, Let me just put this here. Have I jammed with others? Uh, well, there's a little time delay, so unfortunately that's not possible. I teach music lessons this way and group lessons as well. I guess you could call that a class. Um, we haven't quite got to the point where you can play in time with each other, so um, yeah, I play and then they play, and it's sort of a back and forth, and sometimes we can both play with the same background if we have the same file, but uh, I've heard that such technology exists. I I do movies and jingles and stuff, and one of the jingle houses that I work with, they do what's called an ISDN session, which allows, I think, real-time access. But I'm not sure that it's actually fast enough for musicians to play with each other. It's more like the client can hear it. So maybe it's only 1 second late, you know. And but that is, if you're a musician, 1 second is an eternity. I mean, by that time, its music is in another universe. Um, so one more little plug for our website, williamsmusic.com. There's more there. We're going to do one more in keeping with my taper day. This is going to be my last tune. I'm going to talk a little bit about rhythm changes and blowing on rhythm, because I think there's a perception out there that rhythm is sort of like remedial, or it's like a beginner's thing. B flat rhythm changes is considered kind of easy, and I don't really like to go down the road of saying that this is hard or this isn't hard. Um, but I would encourage people to take rhythm changes seriously. The study of it, especially great musicians who do really well on rhythm changes, like Bud Powell, Sonny Stitt, Hank Mobley, Bird, um, just to name a few. There are others, obviously, but it is an art in itself. It is almost like a sub-art of jazz music, and the thing that I like to stress on it is that playing rhythm changes is almost like learning a separate little language. It's as if you were going to learn English and then said, well, now that I know English, I'm going to focus on learning one specific colloquial dialect. And there might be a colloquial dialect out there, like, say, New Yorkese, where there are all of these kind of phrases that people use, and it indicates that they're from New York, or it indicates that they're from New Orleans. And rhythm changes is like that. And it does really reward you if you work on it. So, our last tune today is going to be Oleo. That's by Sonny Rollins, which I think is actually it's a kind of a food. When I was in Brazil, they had a different uh, meaning for this word, but I'm actually not sure what it means. So I'm not going to spread misinformation. We'll just do the tune, Oleo. Tim's got another question. Kenton, Buddy Rich, Maynard, 1 o'clock drive. I have had call to play music like that as a professional. It's not really my bag, as you can tell. I come from more of the, I guess, the East Coast style, and then with big bands, I play more bassy-esque, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've played bands. I've done that. I don't think any of them are real famous, but yeah, done some of that stuff. Um, there's a guy, Danny D'Imperio. He's a drummer that I think he used to play with Maynard, and he lives about an hour away. And every year he'd have this big band extravaganza, and I did a number of those with him, and so we played all those charts. And when I was living in New York City, I would sometimes play that, but to be honest, there wasn't a lot of call for it. If you were doing dance gigs or whatever, it wasn't always all that danceable. I mean, people could dance to intermission riff or something like that, but they weren't going to be dancing to the tunes that the Kenton Orchestra did that were more for concert playing, and so if I played a piece like that, it was maybe back when I was at Manhattan School of Music in the 80s, and we'd play Richard Peasley or Bill Russo or those kinds of things. As a professional, it's been rare actually that I've played those big band things, and I'm not even really doing much big band. I'm mostly as a soloist now, so. Anyway, I'm just gonna do a little last plug here. Come to the site. There we are. Right over my head. It's this is we're playing at Moxie. I think it's this. This is where I play every Friday. If you happen to be in the central New York area. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. My gratitude. Bye bye.